Hi, this is JJ at CCBC. In this video, we'll look at saving your Audacity projects. Major topics we'll cover will be saving actual Audacity projects as well as exporting sound files for use in your projects. The software I'm using for this video is Audacity version 2.01 on a Mac. So let's take a look at this. In my last video, I created this ABC sound file and I want to save this, so I want to back it up. First thing I'm going to do is save it as an Audacity project. So to do that is pretty simple. Just go to File, Save Project. It'll ask you where you want to save it. I'll just hit OK. I'm going to put it on my desktop. I'm going to call this ABC, and I'll just hit Save. Okay, so let's go to our desktop for a second and take a look at what was created. There's actually two things that were created here. I'm going to bring them over to the middle. The first is this abc.aup. So AUP stands for Audacity Project. So it's an Audacity sound file, but there's no sound data inside this file. All right, all the sound data is actually stored in this ABC data folder. Okay, so a good way of thinking of this is think of the sound file as sheet music, saying when to play sounds, and think of the folder as an orchestra, ready to play the actual sounds or make the sounds. So all your sound data is stored in this folder, and then when to play the sounds, the basic tracks within your interface is actually saved in this file right here. So if I don't save this data, if all I have is this sound file, this Audacity project file, then it's kind of like having a sheet music with no orchestra. There's no way to make sound, to play the sounds. If I don't save this file, and I do save the folder, then it's kind of like having an orchestra with no sheet music. I can play these sounds, but I don't know what order to play them in, etc. So you need to have both the file and the folder together in order to reproduce your Audacity project. And this is where a lot of students screw up. They only back up one or the other, and they forget to back up both. This is kind of unique to Audacity, so be aware that you need both the file and the folder, and they need to be in the same location. You can't put them in separate locations and it still function. Right? So with these two files, well, the file and the folder, you can open up Audacity, you'll have all of your tracks, and you'll have the sound data within each track. Okay? So that's your basic Audacity project. In order to create sound files to use in your multimedia projects, you need to export. Okay, so when we export, it's actually going to export everything. This track will be muted, however, it will be 3.6 seconds in length when my actual audio is only about 2.35 seconds in length. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete this track. Now remember, I've already backed up my project, so as long as I don't save over the old project, this information is still there, so I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to go under Export, so File, Export. And here's where I'm actually making sound files. So it'll use your project name by default. You can pick what sound form you want. You've got WAV files, you've got MP3 files, a whole bunch of other file formats. I'm just going to use a simple waveform. I'm going to hit Save. And it's going to put it on the desktop. Now this is your sound files metadata. If you ever used iTunes or some other sound playing software, you notice how it can list the name of the artist, the name of the song, what year it was recorded, things like that. That comes from the metadata that's stored with your sound file. So that's how iTunes knows that information. You can enter that information here if you want to. For this example, I don't really need metadata with this waveform, so I'm just going to hit OK. And saying it's going to mix my tracks to a single mono channel, that's fine. So I'll hit OK. And then I'm going to minimize this. And here's that waveform that has now been created. I have an abc.wave. So what I want to do here, I'm going to open this in Audacity as a new file. So let's go to Audacity with this. So this is just a general warning. You want to make copies just so you have backups. I'm just going to hit OK. Right, so I now have two windows open. I have my ABC project and my ABC sound file. So you'll notice here it is compressed my ABCs into one track to make my waveform. Let's take a listen to it. A, B, C. Okay, so there's my wave file. If I go back to my Audacity project, all right, so here's all the individual tracks. It should sound the same. So I'm going to rewind and play A, B, C. And that's it. right? So that's the difference between saving an Audacity project, which backs up all the tracks and information, and exporting a sound file for use in your multimedia projects. It's two different processes. Always save your Audacity project, back it up. Now remember, I deleted my original track here, so if I close this, it's going to ask me if I want to save my changes. I'm going to say no, because I still want that original track. So if I say no here, I'm good. This is my waveform. I don't really need it, but I'm going to leave it here. If I want to open up that Audacity project one more time, if I double-click the file, oh, it's already open. Let's close this window. No, I'm not going to save changes. Let's open this up. There we go. So there's my original track. There's all my edited tracks. So I have my original data backed up. I have my edits here that I can continue to work with, and that's all there is to it. So now you know how to save an Audacity project and how to export your sound files for use in your multimedia projects. Hope you learned something. See you in the next video.